A sleazebag defends another sleazebag.
What do you think in the context of authenticity versus the audacity frame of Platner?
I'm 99.9% certain is that Graham Platner is no Nazi. And I don't think that he's a racist. I have not heard anything in any way that would say to me that he is a abusive, misogynistic, or anti-Semitic or racist person.
Granted, Hunter has a different, standard than most people. So, Jimmy, you got a guy who screwed his brother's widow, Hunter, talking to a guy who screwed his best friend's wife, Gavin, speaking highly of a guy who banged half of Maine using a hookup app while married. All that's missing is Eric Swalwell in a cameo as Mr. Furley.
I feel like a little kid doing a school project. Why are they your heroes, Jim? Hunter Biden, he said something that was right, though, about the phone test. Like, look, anything to do with illegal business, all that the public has the right to know. But the private stuff that people dig their stupid faces into, if you're not willing to show your phone or your hard drive, mind your business about people's private life. It drives me crazy. Hunter Biden, look, I saw the nude photos of him. The guy is packing. And his father was president. He handled it better than I would have. Honestly. I would have behaved like Saddam's kids if I had that kind of power.
Saddam's Kids. Now, there's a sitcom. I do agree. I never feel that good when it's all about texts. And I think that there's plenty of other stuff in Platner's life that you don't even need to go into these people talking about he was a lousy, whatever. Kat, earlier this month, I was like kind of excited about this rehabbed Hunter, but now I'm kind of over it. It's like, I feel like I'm just going through another one of Hunter's addictions. This time it's to the spotlight.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, he does have charisma because you obviously need that to be able to bang your brother's widow.
Yeah, that and crack.
Honestly, though, you can't be like somebody with no charisma and pull that off.
Yeah.
All right? So I get how he also is I'd say it seemed weird for him to compare himself to Graham Platner because I think Hunter Biden doesn't have a Nazi tattoo.
Yeah.
What he did was a lot of consensual sexual behavior. Yes, it was on crack, and the stuff, of course, that has always bothered me about Hunter was the corruption stuff. I don't care who he banged on crack. That's between him and whoever he banged on crack.
Yes.
But, to kind of bring himself to that level, I don't see them as the same because especially now we're hearing if this is true, what we're hearing now, that he did tell people that he knew that this was a Nazi tattoo, and not only did he keep it, but he was walking around without a shirt on knowing this, if that's true, that is a level of something wrong with you mentally that I honestly can't even put a label on and have never seen before, and I watch a lot of reality TV.
Tyrus, what do you mean? It is just interesting. Is this what the new Democrats' version of masculinity? You got Hunter, Gavin talking about Platner.
Yeah. You know what cracks me up is I didn't know stupid was hereditary.
Yeah.
Did you not hear Joe Biden talking?
Yes.
When he was talking? I mean, how do you pass a stutter? What is going to be fun is when the two of them get excited because you're going to have Biden going and Slick going and then you got Platner going, it's going to be a party. No one really cares what any of these guys have to say about each other. Because they're all coming from a place where they have set the bar so low. Who is not allowed in that group?
Yeah.
Like, who would they be like, no, you can't, Cat, please jump in? Who?
If a woman did it, people would be mad. Yeah, if you can't smoke crack and bang whoever you want as a woman.
Oh, yeah?
They would 1,000% let her in while all three of them tried to figure out who could bang her first. But there is not one guy, maybe a serial killer, perhaps. Like, they wouldn't let Jeffrey Dahmer in because of his dietary restrictions.
They should build a treehouse.
Yes, they should.
And they just have their little secret meetings.
But would you not watch that if they put a camera in there?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
No, we've seen some of Hunter's work. You don't want to watch that.
All right, Tom, you're our moral compass.
Well, you know, I'll say one thing for Gavin. He never did a Nazi salute, right? He can't do it. He can't do the stiff arm. He's too liquid.
Yeah.
He's always moving, right? He can't do it. But I, like you, was starting to be charmed by Hunter. But then I forgot, the thing about it is, it was never Hunter's thing anyway. We never really cared that Hunter had hookers and was doing, crack or whatever he was doing. The scandal was a media scandal.
Exactly.
Right, you're so right.
And they're still covering it up by saying, can you believe we were offended at his laptop? The laptop was a cover-up of Joe Biden's corruption. When he was vice president, he was shoveling cash to his son and himself, the big guy, and then he thought he was going to get away with it. But because he thought Hillary was going to win, he was on his way out the door robbing our country and making money for his family. And then when it came out, when he was running for president, that's when the media covered it up and said, this laptop. And then when they got caught, they just were like this. The media was like, I don't see the laptop. And then they pulled out that old canard. It's Russian disinformation. It's really unbelievable.
No, you make a great point, and it's like I got lost in that. I got lost in that world too, and it's like it was about the laptop denial by the media that was the big story.
And all of these, remember, all these intelligence experts signed this letter saying it's, and the whole time I'm looking at this letter, you know whose name is not on this list denying it? Hunter Biden.
Yes. So true.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.